So you can see they're getting longer, but hey, just use those steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, and it shouldn't be that hard. So again, we know this is the inequality, guys, that we're going to have to do the solving, the graphing, interval notation. Where you see the inequality symbol greater than or less than symbol, you're going to separate it from left-hand side, right-hand side. Focus on just one side equation at a time. So we focus on just the left. Ask yourself, do you have any parentheses first? Yes. So get rid of the parentheses. Distribute. So 4 times z, 4z. 4 times -1, -4. This is outside the parentheses, so bring it down. Now once you get rid of the parentheses, now you can say, do you have any like terms? Coefficient, variable, constant, constant. Ooh, we got 2 matches. When you have matches, you circle. You don't do any opposite signs, you just circle. This is a negative, this is a negative. You know when you have 2 negatives, you add. So we're going to get a -10. 4 plus 6 is 10. 6 players versus 4 players. Team 6 win, team negative wins. Now that I'm done on the left, ask yourself the same 2 questions on the right. Do you have any parentheses first? If yes, distribute. So then we have 6 times 2 is 12z. 6 times 3, 18. Outside the parentheses, bring it down. Okay. Notice I'm just going to keep on bringing down this symbol. You don't have to worry about switching it until the divorcing step. Here, do we have any like terms? Now that I got rid of the parentheses, coefficient, variable, constant, constant. Looks like these 2 are like. Alright? So positive and a negative, you know you're going to subtract. So 18 and 12, we're going to get a 6. Who wins the positive team? Because there are 18 players versus 12. So that's why it's a positive 6. Next, labeling. Boom. No matter what. This side, var. This side, con. Moving. This 10 is not a variable. So the opposite of negative, add 10. They cancel out. Positive and a positive, you know, they're the same label, so we add. We get 16. Who wins the tug of war? 10 players versus 6, team 10, so team positive. Now this is a z. It needs to go to the variable side. So the opposite would be subtract 12z on both sides. Positive, negative, oops, subtract. Who wins the tug of war? 12 players. You really got to be careful with your signs here. Because if you had it as a positive 8z, you don't switch the inequality symbol. You would get z greater than or equal to 2. But we actually have a negative. So you got to pay attention. Because your inequality symbol is negative, your coefficient is negative, you have to switch the inequality symbol. If this said positive, you leave it alone. So this divided by this is -2. Now you're almost done. You got to put it in step builder. Squiggle, Z, give it that. Now you copy. Close squiggle. Now graph. You know this represents the positive side, so I'll put positive infinity. You know this represents the negative side. We know that this is here. So we gotta figure out, are we using parentheses or brackets? Notice it's underlined. So we're gonna use brackets. Which of these 2 brackets are we gonna use? Well, let's see which way this is pointing. This, because the variable is on the left, is saying less than. So we want to go shade towards the negative, so I want to use this one because it's opening up to the negative. Notice I put it at -2 because that's where it tells me to put it. And then shade towards the negative because we want to go less than. There's your graphing. And then interval notation, remember, we always go from left to right. Even though it's pointing in this direction, I always go left to right. Or if you want to think of it, smallest item, definitely -infinity. Largest item for the red, -2. Remember, what would I rather owe? $2 or $1 million? Or $2, that's large. Next, because this is right here, we're going to use this symbol, the bracket. And always for the infinity symbol, parentheses. So there is the solving, the graphing, and then the interval notation.